we might say. Chapters 4 and 5. Colorful character, this guy, in many, many ways, as you'll see tonight. Now, just a quick snapshot where we are on the panorama of time. From Abraham, after the call of Abraham, we had the rise of the nation, and then the exodus from Egypt. They went down as a family, came back as a nation. Then we grew into the monarchy. And then, of course, when David dies, Solomon takes over. When Solomon dies, there's a civil war breaking into two houses, which the northern kingdom gets obliterated by Assyria, 721 BC. And then the southern kingdom continues, but it also goes from bad to worse. And finally, God has them captured, put into exile under Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. The exile is a major portion of their history. That's where we're dealing with here. And in that, from between the monarchy and the post-exile period, we have the Babylonian captivity, 70 years, nominally. I'll explain that in a minute. Well, let's just get right into it. The Babylonian Empire, the first siege takes Daniel and his young friends captive because they were part of the royal line. Nebuchadnezzar sets up a vassal king and takes hostages to assure his fealty. And that's the first siege of 3. Despite protestations by Jeremiah and others, they try to rebel against Nebuchadnezzar. And so he lays down a second siege, replaces Jehoiachin with Zedekiah. And he also takes some more hostages, namely Ezekiel, and some more captives are taken to Babylon. And then once again, despite the preaching of Ezekiel in Babylon and Jeremiah in Jerusalem, they rebel a third time. This time Nebuchadnezzar has had a bellyful of it all. He levels the place. He goes back to third siege and has Jerusalem destroyed. So we have 3 different sieges, and most people fail to recognize some details here. The servitude of the nation begins with the first siege. At that point on, the nation is in servitude to Babylon. And it was predicted to be 70 years, and it turns out to be 70 years to the very day, incidentally. Now, it ends, of course, when Cyrus conquers Babylon, reads a letter written to him that he finds in the book of Isaiah, and is so impressed that he releases them to go back and rebuild their temple. He even gives them financial subsidies to do so. That ends the servitude of the nation. Jerusalem is still desolate, however. Jerusalem, and the Persian Empire, of course, starts with that. So